All right, it's E at 9:45 on the 12th of July, 2019, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. Got news coming out of a speaker around 10 o'clock, trying to get a few chips. This is one of the challenges that we talk about in this business. Remember to use risk capital you can afford to lose. All right, we've got two-way action. We said we thought we would. We thought that the longs are going to try to defend starting at this 05 area as support. Key idea, got to get through, obviously, the prior high. Normally about a point or so we like as support below it. And this is some overhead supply. Got to be penetrated. We've looked at a couple of charts. Anybody's played the half gap, you've got something. We said probably going to be a fairly tight range. This is a very fast chart, a 2-minute chart that seems to be working for the long side right now. We know that we've got all the lines that will be coming up. And there's a very fast chart, but if you put it on a 5, you can't see that yet. So that's one of the reasons we do that. Our high idea that's tested. And if you look at a chart like this, which is a moderate chart, 5 is a fast one, 10 is more moderate, more neutral, and the 15 is the one that we really like to use. But with this chart, we can see we've got some overhead supply. So by marrying those two ideas, it tells us, maybe we're a little bit neutral. Don't think too much, especially ahead of somebody that's going to start yakking away at 10 o'clock. So I think right now, fairly limited range and limited ideas, which is why we said, if you're going to play, think risk 2, make 2. You know, don't go thinking of it as a big, solid move, in IB. Should get the open reversal game, two-way action. And partially because of the length of this move, and then this is a consolidation phase. Seek has accurately pointed out, anybody short, pay attention to the level right here. This is normally our first target line that you must break for more action downside. And that's why this is our trading box. Great post, Seek. And so basis where we have been, these are the highs that anybody that's buying, you're buying the highs relative to the week's range and obviously the yearly range. Bots don't care. They'll do whatever you tell them to do. And I said today, if you chase and you get a loser comes back at you, just scratch it. Maybe try one more time. Because there are two schools of thought today. The first is, I want to make sure I capture some of these profits. That's the way somebody who's played nicely, he's going to be watching. He doesn't want to let profits erode. So that's part of the psychology of today. And if it happens early, then you think, okay, then maybe a push back into the close towards the end of the day. And if it doesn't happen that way early and it rushes long side, then you're going to be looking for that contra in a profit-taking swing later in the day. So for now, this is the box that is obviously being resolved. And if we're looking at a box that predictive model talks about, we already know that this is the normal level right back in here that should be our resistance, and especially for stocks. While in the E-mini, it tends to use the extremes as a better place to take your resistance, take your shorts. So here it is first, but then it gets through it, and now we're into the extreme zone basis this chart. And if you want it on a weekly level, this is what it looks like on the weekly level. Support, fighting box, and now we're into the resistance box. So until proven otherwise, 92, it stays low. That's our big support. And I've suggested let's use 98 basis this chart right here as our normal support, 92 to 98. That's going to be support until broken. So we'll remember that going forwards. Just as we said earlier, that 52 was support until broken. We have not tried to call a top, but I think we are getting closer to the resistance target. And when we get that, you know, you can't be afraid to take the trades, but you are going to say, you know what, they got me, and so what? Look at all we made by playing this way. The hard part is that a lot of it's done overnight, and we're left with crumbs during the day. That's the hard part. Market is basing right now. Base on base. I would not be overly aggressive today in either direction. Get a couple points if you can and get out of the way. Demon is very long to use. Usually if it's this long, I'm not going to think about that as the trigger other than for the big boys, but I am going to think about the back end of it as the resistance. And you can see we came in just missed by a tick to the middle. Friday, JB team on the field. Monthly chart. I like range type trading, limited opportunity right now. I think especially for IB. Said don't trust breakouts, don't trust breakdowns. Obviously the low of the day is support until broken. So we got about a 10-point range to work with right now. That's it.